It's time for the flying geese. Are you ready? Hey everyone, Cristin Sam here, and we are going to work on our Jingle All the Way quilt today. So we already have all of section 1 complete and all of section 2. And they are looking great. I'm loving that you guys are sharing them in the photos in our Cristin Creates Facebook group. So then yesterday we did the chenille stockings. So I loved seeing these. You guys are doing a great job on them. Make sure to do the full chenille on there. Make sure to get it all roughly, right? Like messy looking. I don't know how you describe it other than chenille. So make sure that you're pushing this a little bit longer than you think you need to, and so that it looks really super cool. I just love how these turned out, and I'm loving seeing yours as well. So we have all of those, and then we have all of these extra blocks. Like, we are just jamming along so much that when we get to these sections, we're going to be like, oh, we already did that. That will be cool. So today we are going to work on the flying geese. There's large flying geese and then there's small flying geese. We're only going to work on the large flying geese, and we only need one of them right now, but there are two. So I'm going to do two of them together, but you can choose to do just one depending on how much time you have available. All right, so grab your packet if you made packets. So my packet is not too bad. These are piecing projects, and they're my personal favorite. I really like piecing projects, but totally up to you. But I am going to show you how to do it step by step. So in the oldest book, they're on page 12. All right, and there are two of them. This is for the large ones. So one thing I want to mention, if you don't have a Clover folding pen, I highly recommend it. It makes the job a little bit easier. So I'm going to add a link here. This goes to my Amazon storefront. I get people that ask me all the time, how do I get to your Amazon storefront? Where I'm clicking, where I'm pointing, just click on that link right there, okay? That will take you to my Amazon storefront, and the Clover folding pen is in there and the little liquid, and it just makes it easier when you're folding those over. All right, and I'm going to give some various tips throughout the project as well. All right, so grab your packet, grab your fabrics from your packet. So we are going to start with, like I said, there are two that we need eventually, but only one right now. I'm going to do both, so it's totally up to you. So let's go ahead and go over the products that we need for that. So we're going to do the green and black one. That's the one that we really need to have right now, and then the red and green one we need later. And like I said, I'm going to do both. All right, so we're going to start with this green fabric. It is a green lattice. I think it's called lattice, but it looks like that orange pill quilting design. Have you ever noticed that? So anyway, whatever you call it, we're going to start with this. Now, our sponsor sent us the green lines fabric in place of this lattice. So either one will work fine. All right. And we are going to start with these. What do we want them at? 5.5 by 3. And we want 3 pieces. 5.5 by 3, 3 pieces of this. All right, and I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, but I want to warn you, a lot of people that do piecing projects do not like to stabilize these. So whatever works for you. Mine are stabilized, but that's just my preference. You don't need to. It does make it a little bit harder to fold it over and get it just to stay very well. Thankfully, that Clover folding pen helps with that. So up to you whether you stabilize or not, totally up to you. So 3 pieces of this green one at 5.5 by 3, right? 5.5 by 3, 3 pieces, okay? And then, and like I said, don't forget there's this this other one that came from our sponsor. If you have that, that's the one you want to look for. All right, 5.5 by 3. And then the next one for that same flying geese is the black with white polka dots. And this one, there's more of them. It looks like we need 6 pieces at 4.5 by 3. 6 pieces at 4.5 by 3. This is going to be the background, I believe. Yep, the background. All right. And like I said, I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, but that's totally optional, and most people don't on the piecing project. So you decide what works for you. 6 pieces at 4.5 by 3. Okay. That's for the background for the flying geese. And I will go over all of this step by step. Don't worry if you haven't done a flying geese before. They are traditional, so they're pretty cool. And I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to do them in the hoop, and we're going to quilt it after it's all done. All right, so for the second flying geese, like I said, if you have time to do both, great. If you don't, you can do it later. You can come back to this tutorial. So on the second one, we want the red with white dots. We want 3 pieces. I assume 5.5 by 3. Let's see, 5.5 by 3, 3 pieces of this one. All right, choose to back it with stabilizer or not, up to you. 3 pieces, 5.5 by 3. This is for the second flying geese. All right, and then for the background on this one, we have those 6 pieces, just like the black and white dots. This one is the doodle fabric, all right, green doodle fabric. And this one, we want to have 6 pieces at 4.5 by 3, 4.5 by 3, either backed with stabilizer or not, up to you. 6 pieces, 4.5 by 3. That's for the second flying geese block, all right. And then we have our batting. So our final cut size, I don't remember if it said it in here. I remember trying to find it. But anyway, our batting, let's see, where's my little note? All right, it looks like our final cut size after we piece it all together is going to be 4.5 by 6.5. So that means that we want a piece of batting that is 5 by 7. All right, 5 by 7. So this way, 5 by 7. And you want 2, 1 for each of the flying geese blocks, which whether you're doing one or both of them. So you decide. So batting 5 by 7. All right. And then for our quilting on these, so I'm going to do, let's see, the book says to do Christmas 7, which is a cute holly design. And you can absolutely do that. You can do the Christmas 7. I think it's probably in the Jingle All the Way quilting bundle. I'm actually going to use the ornaments. I thought that would be really cute on these. So it is Christmas 14. Whatever quilting design that you want to do it in a 4 by 6 quilting design. All right, 4 by 6 quilting design, whatever design you choose. I'm going to use Christmas 14. It is the ornament. So if you're sticking with what's in the Jingle All the Way, I believe Christmas 7 is probably in the Jingle All the Way quilt. So you could do that one, or you could do ornaments. You can do something you already have, something you want to stretch out and do something different. Whatever works for you, just make sure it's a 4 by 6 quilting design. All right, and I'm going to do that on both of them. I'm going to use the Christmas 14 ornaments on both of these. All right. So I'm going to bring you over to the computer and I'm going to show you how to merge them together in one hooping. If you choose, keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of fabrics out. And so you're going to want to have a lot of room and you're going to want to be able to work on both of those at the same time. It will be a little bit trickier than doing like a simple applique or even a simple embroidery. So decide if you want to do them in separate hoopings or together, totally up to you, whatever works for you. I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you how to merge them together if you choose. And just a real quick reminder, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel in some way, but it also helps you. I get a lot of messages saying, how do I find this video or that video? They're all on Cristin Creates on YouTube. And if you click that subscribe button, and then after you click that subscribe button, it gives you an option to click the bell, and that bell will give you a notification whenever a new video is posted so that you can be on top of whenever the videos are posted. And another thing is you can look in the playlist. So like Jingle All the Way, we're working on Jingle All the Way. There's a tab for playlists, and if you click on that tab, all of the videos for that project, this is on all of the different projects that I have. Each one, all of the videos are located in the playlist for that project. I hope that helps. Hey everyone, I'm at my computer now. We're going to do some finagling on this. I want to warn you because we want part of the quilting design in the beginning and part of it at the ending. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in just a second here. So I'm going to open up Embellishment Essentials. That's the embroidery software that I highly recommend. If you're in the market for embroidery software, please use my affiliate link. I will add a link up here. It's also underneath this video in the video notes. All right, so start off by seeing what hoop size you're on. I'm on my 4x4 hoop. That's not going to work at all. So I'm guessing, let's try like 8x12 and we'll see how that works. So I'm going to go to this preferences folder. I'm going to click on my 8x12 hoop and say okay. And then I'm going to click on this compass button and click on the H for hoop. All right, and it zooms into the hoop. So we're going to start by bringing in the quilting design, but we're only going to have part of it. So it's going to be a little different here. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file. Actually, I've done it that way lots of times. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to open up my folder that I know where I have it. and I'm going to open up my Christmas 14. That's the quilting design that I'm going to use. If you buy a new quilting design to add to your library for future projects, make sure to use the affiliate link for our sponsor. So that's super easy to do. If you just open up a browser and open up one of our tutorials, any of the tutorials for this project. So down here at the bottom, see where underneath the video, this is on a computer. It's a little different on the phone. I think there's an arrow to click. And same with an iPad, it's a little bit different, but you can always see all the info underneath the video. So right here, it says, click here to see links below the video. Click on that, click like see more, it says, and then there's all kinds of information that's under the video. It's always here. Every single video, I have a lot of information underneath the video, my shirt design, a link for PayPal and Venmo. Oh, that's not a hyperlink. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, so the information about our project and who's sponsoring it. So right here, it says that our sponsor is Oma Darlings, and there's the discount code. And then down here at the bottom, to purchase quilting design from Kimberbell, please use our sponsor's affiliate link here. So you click on that, and all it does is it takes you to Kimberbell. And then from there, you would click on the magnifying glass or whatever, the search tool, and type in Christmas 14. That's how I found it. I actually just downloaded mine today. So Christmas 14, and then you'll see your options. So I would click on this Christmas 14, and you can see that cute those ornaments. Isn't that so cute? So that's the one I'm going to use. That's how to get it. Just go into any of the tutorials and then click on that link for our sponsor. That gives them a little kickback to thank them for supporting our project. All right, so I'm going to close that. Go back to my Christmas 14 design. We want block by block. I use Pez for my machine. And I'm thinking we need the 6x8. Did I say? No, 4x6. Sorry about that. 4x6. I'm going to change this so I can see them. View, extra large. All right, and that way I can see them all. So there's the 4x6 right there. Isn't that cute? Very fun. So I'm going to double click on that. Nope, don't do that. If you go to that merge stitch file, then you double click on it. That's where my mistake was. But if you open up the folder, then all you do is grab it and drag it over to your workspace. How easy is that? All right, so there's our 4x6 quilting design. I'm going to open this up, and I need to change these, and I'm going to do some reordering and stuff. So just watch what we do here. So I'm going to start by changing all of these colors so that I have some that will join and some that won't. So we've got one that's on that black background with green, and then another one that's green with the red background. So I'm going to just change the color so I can decide when I get to my machine what I want to do. So I'm going to go to 1-1. I want this part to make sure to group together. So I'm going to go to the color in the properties window here, click on that color, and I'm going to change from my palettes. I'm on my palettes right now. Make sure you're on threads, because palettes just shows you the colors that are already in your design. And I'm going to choose the first color that comes up for me, which is dark aqua, and say okay. All right, and then 1-2, same thing, down in the properties window in the color tab, click on that color, and I'm going to change to the first color that comes up for me, which is blaze, and say okay. And then 1-3, click on the color. We already used dark aqua, so I'm going to use marine this time. And then 1-4, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Oriole. And then 1-5, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Sprout, and say okay. All right, so that one's all done. Now you're on the last bit, which is this quilting design. So make sure to click elsewhere so that nothing is selected. And then I'm going to take this design and I'm going to rotate it. So I click on the design. You can click on the design, or you can click up here on this first part. And then I'm going to rotate it with this little blue arrow here. All right, that is great. And I'm going to take that. I have to click outside so nothing is selected, then click back on that design. And then from there, I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it up to the top. And I'm just going to see what size hoop I need. It looks like this will be plenty of room. All right, so that's the first one. Now I need 2 of these. So I'm going to go ahead, and while I've got that selected, I'm going to say Control C to copy it, and then Control V like victory to paste it. And you can't see it because it's right on top of that first one, but you can see in your objects window. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that down arrow key, and I'm going to just bring it all the way down. That was Archer sighing if you heard him. All right, and this is good that there's a lot of room. So I'm going to use my 8 by 12 hoop, and you can see there's a lot of room in between, and we need it. On these piecing projects, we're putting them down and we're flipping them, and you want to make sure to have a lot of room. So 8 by 12 works really well for this size. All right, now the other thing, since they're not the same colors, I want to take that second color, the quilting design of the second one, and I'm going to change this color so that there's a stop. The machine will say, oh, do you want to change your thread color? And so it will create that stop. So I'm going to click on 2-5, click on the color, and I'm going to choose the second color down, which for me is sea green, just so that those won't join. All right, and then those are done. Those are the quilting designs. Now here's the key. So I'm going to scroll up here. So this is the placement for our batting, and we want that. All right. And then the placement for or the tack down of our batting, and then the placement of the main fabric and the tack down of the main fabric and the quilting design. So we don't want, let me think here. We could use that, the tack down later. It has to be after everything, but the first two parts, this placement and tack down of the batting, we want those, and then we want to do all of the piecing parts. So we don't want all of this yet. We just want those first two parts. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little different. So pay attention, watch closely. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, while I've already got it copied, I'm going to say Control V for a third design and Control V for a fourth design. All right. So let me think. Now we only need the first two parts. So there's an easy way to do this. I'm going to complicate it just a little bit. I like to do that. So this 3 and 4, this one we've already changed the color. So we've got that sprout and the sea green. So I'm going to use those for the last part. So I'm going to click on 1 and 2. So we'll start with this first one. So hopefully I'm not confusing you too much. So if I click outside from the right hand side and drag down, then I can get the first two parts. All right. So I want to delete those. All right. Does that make sense? So actually I think I want, oh, you know what? We don't need, on that last part, we don't even, there's in the design, it's going to have a tack down of all of it. So we don't even need any of these. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the first 4 parts. All right. The batting and the main fabric. I'm going to take all of those out. I'm going to hit delete. All right. And then same with the second one, since we've already got the colors changed, I only want that quilting design. So I'm going to click on these first 4 parts and I'm going to click delete. All right. Now we want these to be after we've already done all of that piecing, keep in mind. So let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay. I was looking at this because it's that 3 and 4 that are up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. This is our first design and I'm going to say move last. All right, so it goes to the end, and then I'm going to click on that first design again, which is now that second design, and I'm going to right click on it and say move last. All right, so now we have those at the end, which is what we want, but we still need to change up that 1 and 2, the ones that we just brought in. All right, so I'm going to open up 1, and I'm going to take out steps 3, 4, and 5. I just want the placement and tack down of our batting on this one. So I'm going to click over from the right and drag over to get steps 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to click delete. All right, I just want the placement and tack down of the batting. Now, same thing on number 2 here. I just want the first and the second one. So I'm going to click from the right and drag over and get steps 3, 4, and 5 and click delete. All right, so basically I have 4 of the quilting designs here. Let me see, do I have it? Why does this one have an outer? Did I miss something? Let's check here. So this one, just quilting design, just quilting design. This one and this one. So this, oh, they're both on top. That's why they're on top. So I have to move that one. So let's see here. I'm going to bring it down. I need to think about that. I should have done it before I deleted it. So the second one, I want to move it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag it down. And then I am going to do an align and distribute just to make sure I've got it just right of where I want it to be. See, because it's over a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, I moved it down a lot, but not quite enough. So I'm going to click on number 2 and I'm going to click on the control button on my keyboard and click on number 4 so that I have both of those. And then I'm going to go to Utility, Align and Distribute, Center, Center, Apply. Oh, I must have gotten it just right because it didn't move at all that I could see. All right, so that is good. So both of those are good. Now, what you can do if you want, let's see. No, we don't want to move that yet. I was thinking we could move it up a little bit more, but first we want to bring in our embroidery design, that the flying geese design. So we may need a little bit of room here. I'm pretty sure that we do. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. So right now we have the first design, which if we open it up, you can see it's just the placement and the tack down of the batting. That's all we have on that first one. And then on the second one, same thing, placement and tack down of our batting. All right, that's all we have. And then we're going to do from there, we'll add in that flying geese design, and we'll have the template and do all of the piecing. And then after that, we will have the 2 quilting designs when it's all done. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in that embroidery design. So I'm going to go to my folder here again, go to embroidery files, Pez, and we're looking for the flying geese. And my head is in the way, but hopefully we'll see it. There it is. Large flying geese, 5x7. All right, so double click on that. It will go, no, don't double click. I'm determined to tell you to double click. Sorry. Just grab it and drag it over to your desktop, to your workspace on Embrilliance Essentials. All right, and then I can close that. So there is our flying geese design. All right, so I am going to take this. Now notice there's a lot of gray and cyan and orange, cyan, orange, cyan, orange, cyan, orange. So we're going to want to change those, because if you're doing 2-in-1 hooping, it's going to do them at the same time all together. It will, like, you'd have to put all of those fabrics down at once. So of course we don't want to do that. We want to stop, and so we want to change these colors. So I think we can keep the gray, but all these cyans and oranges we're going to need to fix. Here's another gray. There's 2 grays. So there's the template for the gray and then the final tack down in gray. So we will have to change one of them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that design. I'm going to start by rotating it with that little blue arrow here. Click on that. All right, and then I'm going to take it. I clicked outside, so nothing's selected. Click back on that design, and then I'm going to bring it up. Let's see, and we're going to have to do some finagling here. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm just bringing it up right now for this first one, but don't forget we want to change these colors. So I'm going to keep that first gray, but then all these cyans and oranges, I'm going to go ahead and change them so that we want the parts that will merge to be the ones that we want to merge. All right, so I'm on 5-2, click on the color, and we've already used marine in our quilting design, so I'm going to use the next color down, which for me is Hawaiian blue. All right, say okay, and then 5-3, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Halloween. And then 5-4, click on the color, and I'm going to use Mercury since we already used the first 2. I'm going to use Mercury. And then 5-5, click on the color. I'm going to use Butterscotch. And 5-6, click on the color, and I'm going to use the next color down, which for me is Tropical. And I just scroll down so I can see more of them. 5-7, click on the color, and we already used Halloween and Butterscotch. You can always see them right up here. So I'm going to use Bronze and say okay. And then 5-8, click on the color, and the next one is Robin Egg. So keep in mind, I'm on Fil-Tec Glide, and like I've said in all my videos, it doesn't matter what thread color you choose. I'm just using the first colors that come up for me. That's the easiest. All right, so Robin Egg, say okay. 5-9, click on the color, and we already used Bronze, so I'm going to go down to Biscotti. And then 5-10, click on the color, and the next color for me is Fog. Fog, right there. Almost clicked on the wrong one. Fog. All right, and then okay, and 5-11, click on the color, and we used Biscotti, so the next one for me is Wheat. And then 5-12, click on the color, and let's see, we already used Fog, so I'm scrolling down. Next one is Aqua. And then 5-13, click on the color, and let's see, we used Wheat, so the next one is Caramel. Caramel is my favorite candy, just so you know. Caramel, I love it. All right, say okay. 514, click on the color, and we already used, what was our last one? Aqua. So then I'm going to use Sky. Say okay. And 515, I think we must be close to the end here. 515, click on the color. We used Caramel last, so the next one is Shell. And then 516, click on the color, and let's see, Sky is the next one for me, right? Nope, I used Sky, my mistake. Electric is the next one. Say okay. 517, click on the color, and let's see, we used Shell, so the next one is Sand Dune. Look at how close all of these are. That's funny. Say okay. All right, and then on this gray, I'm going to click on this 518, click on the color, and I'm going to choose medium gray just so it's a different color than that template color. All right, and that one is done. That is good. All right, so now I want another one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and close up 5. There it is right there. I'm going to say Control C to copy it and then Control V like victory to paste it. And I'm just going to use my arrow keys to bring it down to the bottom. And we're going to have to align and distribute both of those to make sure that we've got it right. All right, and then we'll have to move it accordingly to make sure everything fits in our hoop. All right, so I'm going to close that. Now I want, let's see here. So we want 1 and 3. Oh, let me remind you this first before we do that. I'm clicking outside. So number 3, I'm going to click on number 3. Remember, we want that after we've done all that piecing, and right now it's before our piecing. Wouldn't that be a bummer? So we definitely want to move this to the end. So I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say move last. All right. And then same thing with the new number 3, this one here. I'm going to right click on it and say move last. All right, so now we've got our quilting designs at the end after we've done all of our piecing. All right, so that's much better. All right, so we want number 1 and then hold your control button on your keyboard, and we want number 3 and number 5. All right, we want all 3 of those parts to align. So let's go to Utility, Align and Distribute, Center, Center, and say apply, and it moved the quilting design. All right, that's perfect. Now make sure that, see how these lines go out? Make sure that they're not going over the hoop. So whatever you need to do, you can click on this compass button and move this crosshair up here. You just want to do something that will make it so that you can make sure that nothing is going over the hoop, because it will not work. You can bring it to your machine and it'll go, nope, can't do it. So just make sure to check that now. All right, so go back to this compass button, click H for hoop. So that one is great. Now we want to do the same thing with the second design down here. So click outside so nothing is selected. Click on number 2. Hold down that control button, click on number 4 and number 6. So we have all of the parts for that, all right? And then Utility, Align and Distribute, Center, Center, Apply. Oh, it moved it a lot, so I'm glad that we did that. Good thing, or it would have been off for sure. All right, and same thing, we want to check and make sure. So I'm going to go to this compass button and I'm going to move my crosshair down here, and then I can just see really well. I can zoom in to make sure nothing's over the hoop. You do not want to be over the hoop at all. All right, I'm going to move this over a little bit just to make sure it's all good. All right, and then go back to the compass, click on H for hoop. All right, so now we can do our color sort. Right now we have 42 color steps. Let's just make sure we've got our placement for our batting, our tack down for our batting, all of the parts of our flying geese, those are all separated. And then we have our quilting designs. So that's all perfect. So I'm going to go to, don't forget, these quilting designs are different. One is in Sprout, one is in Sea Green, so that we can have a stop so that we can change our thread color. All right, so I'm going to go to Utility, Color Sort. And it thinks, and it says it's reduced it by 20 color changes. Now, we want to be careful to check this carefully, all right? So this is going to be really important. If you don't get the same results that I get, it's because of this. You want to make sure that none of these are checked and your tolerance is at 0. This is very important. The other thing that I have found that has come into play, let me click New View so I can show you. If I click New View, now it opens up that second tab. So one other thing that I've found that can be problematic on the flying geese with Embellishment Essentials is if you go up to this preferences folder and you have this jumps overlays, if you have, where is it? Remove overlaps. Yes, if you have this checked, the remove overlaps when saving stitch files, it will make it so that anything that's hidden underneath, like if you have an applique on top of it, it won't stitch some of the stitching that you think you need, and it will create jump stitches. And sometimes on this the piecing, it can act a little weird. So just don't have that checked. If you're finding a problem, come up to this jumps overlays and unclick this, remove overlaps when saving stitch files. All right, you don't want that clicked. You want to keep all of the overlaps. We want all of the stitching for this. All right, so say okay. Now, there was something else I wanted to tell you. All right, so one other thing is if you had that jump stitches checked, then you may want to go back to your first one, this untitled one. That's why we have these 2 tabs. So this has all of those 6 different designs, whereas the second one, everything's all in one design. So if you find that you don't have the same results, you just come back to this first tab and do it again. All right, super easy because you've already got everything here. So then you would do your color sort again once you know all of the steps to have it done. All right, so let's go to Untitled 2, that new tab that put everything in one design, and we're just going to check it. And it's quite a bit since we've got all of those little pieces for the flying geese. All right, so there is our placement for our batting. Those are together and perfect, and our tack down of our batting. And then we start with that template. We're going to stitch that right on our batting. All right, keep that in mind. And then we're going to start with all of the piecing. So as long as they're all together, then we can do both of them at the same time, save on time and save on stabilizer. All right, so these are all looking great. We're just checking to make sure. Let me check that one again, make sure it wasn't over the hoop, but good. All right, and then I'm just checking to make sure that there's 2, one for each of the blocks, and that they're joined together. And this is looking perfect so far. All right, and then I'm on 16, that's good, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that one is the tack down around, after we've got all of our pieces laid down for the piecing project, then it's going to do that tack down around both of them. All right, so that's perfect. And then quilting design 1 and quilting design 2. Perfect. That worked out wonderfully. So I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as. Make sure to save it as so that it's something new. I'm going to go to my Jingle All the Way and my embroidery files, and I'm going to name this Flying Geese Large ×2. All right, name it whatever will help you to find it later. And my machine is on. We had no internet for like a day and a half, and we just got it fixed. So I'm very thankful for that. So I can send this to my machine. I wasn't able to do that for a couple of days. All right, file sent to machine. So if you have a Wi-Fi ready machine, you can set it up to do that. If you don't, you would just save it to a USB stick, and that's super easy to do as well. And we're ready to get stitching. Don't forget to get that Clover folding pen. If you don't have one of those, check my Amazon storefront and grab a Clover folding pen. That makes this part a lot easier. All right, and also the mini iron. I find that mini iron, I use that all the time. So if you don't have that, that's in my Amazon storefront as well. That is super helpful because you can iron right in your hoop. All right, we've got an 8x12 hoop, and it's a small little iron. It's very powerful, and it works great for these type of projects. All right, let's get stitching. And my shirt today, I love this one. So I just made this one last winter. So Stronger Than the Storm. Isn't that fun? I believe I got it on Etsy. I will add a link underneath this video of where you can find the design. I, of course, added bling. You know, I like to do that. There's bling underneath as well. Can you see that? So pretty fun. I really like this design. It's very cute from Etsy. The shirt is super, super old. I think I got it at JC Penney's probably 20 years ago, and it's been sitting waiting to get embroidered. And so I can't tell you where to get this one, but I just got one in the mail this morning that I ordered on Amazon the other day, and it's the same color, and it's it doesn't have the V part, but the rest of it, it's like a great sweater. It's not really a sweater, it's shirt. It's really definitely a shirt, but it's almost exactly the same. So I will add a link. Don't forget, I've got an Amazon storefront. You can click on this link up here that I'm pointing to, click on that, and there's a tab for the shirts and sweaters that I recommend for embroidering on. And you can see the one that I just got that's in this bright hot pink. I really like it, but it comes in a bunch of colors too. So all that information will be underneath this video and at that link that I sent for Amazon storefront. And how are you doing with your goal? So I worked my goal hard yesterday. I did really good. It was gorgeous here, and that we have very few gorgeous days left before the winter comes. So yesterday I got out for a bike ride, solo, riding by myself, enjoying the beautiful weather. I was in a tank top. Like, it was just so beautiful out. Absolutely wonderful. It was a very short ride, like 13 miles, but I got to fit that in, and I was so thankful for that. So did that. I also went to the gym with my husband and ran on the treadmill and did weights. We did chest yesterday, so a lot of chest work yesterday on the weight machines. And I also made a sweater. So I bought this sweater. It's this heavy duty warm sweater for wearing it to take to the gym, to go to in and out of the gym, because it's so cold outside, but it's not at all cold at the gym. So I bought this really thick sweater, and I put this fun design. I'll add a photo, a fun design on the front that says, it won't be easy, but it will be worth it. And then on the back, it says, keep killing it. Like, perfect designs for the gym. I thought that was really fun. So I did that. I worked both of my goals yesterday. I did really good with that. I am actually down 6.2 pounds as of this morning. I'm pretty excited about that. I've been working out really hard and really, really careful with my eating and trying to get sleep. So I worked it really good. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share photos. I don't know if you're anywhere that you get to see the Northern Lights, but the Northern Lights here in Idaho have been really incredible. And I'm part of this group, the Idaho Weather Watchers, and they post pictures of the Northern Lights that I can't see them. And you have to like get your camera set just right to be able to capture them, because you can't really see it with your naked eye. So I'm going to share some of those photos because it's just incredible. I absolutely loved seeing that. And they were very creative photos. I thought they were so fun. So in case you're not in an area that you get to see the Northern Lights, I'm going to include some photos for you so you can see those as well. And don't forget to tell me how you're doing with your goal. Whenever you post a picture of your progress with your quilt, I want to hear how you're doing with your goal too.